how is this helping our family and our community, and is it kind of the best way to be doing that? So those are all kind of things that kind of, I aligned myself with, and is part of what drove me to both the Republican Party and ultimately kind of this job. Like I said,
Can we record?
yeah,
No secret.
yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
I don't suppose these lights are on a dimmer switch.
No, they're not. But now that everybody's in, I can turn the lights off. So that is going to turn more lights on. Let me grab the lights here, and hopefully that'll help a little bit. I think the problem we're going to run into, I think, is that the wind. There it is. A little bit. So of course, a lot of you guys are kind of here to learn more, kind of about the Republican Party. And right now, of course, our president is Donald Trump, who is a Republican. So we wanted to take a couple seconds here and just kind of talk about some of the things that he's done that, obviously we think are good for the country and our communities and different things like that. So, a big thing, of course, with Republicans and the president is, of course, the economy. He's, of course, known as a businessman, and being very involved and coming from that world is something he's very conscious of and wants to kind of help the country with. So he passed. Is that coming through as clear? It looks like it fades a little bit.
Can anybody not read it?
Okay.
Sweet.
From my angle, the top is fine, but the bottom's a little blurry.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. So, like I said, he's very concerned about the economy, and one of the things that he did, kind of in an effort to help with the economy, was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which the idea of it was to leave more money in workers' paychecks, so that they could choose how to spend their money as opposed to having the government kind of choose how to spend their money. So that's one of the things he did, and kind of along with that, and one of the things he's really trying to do is keep unemployment low, and make sure there are jobs out there, and there are not lots of people out looking for jobs and out of work when they could and want to be working. And one of the big ones is kind of getting manufacturing jobs back to America and trying to keep those jobs, which don't necessarily require a college education, but are high paying and good jobs with good benefit, is really one of the things he's trying to focus on. And of course, immigration. As far as I'm concerned, the Republican Party and the president's policy is that we want people to do it the right way. If there's a right way to get in line and kind of immigrate to the country, in a wrong way, we should be making sure that people do it the right way. And the wall, and things like that are just an effort to cut down on kind of people doing it the wrong way and making sure that they are doing it the right way. You don't, like I said, if there's a right way to do something and a wrong way to do it, we obviously want to try and make sure that people are doing it the right way. And then, of course, there's foreign policy and national security and defense. Just trying to make sure that trade deals are, work for the United States, and make sure that we're kind of getting the better of those deals and making sure that, you know, what's good for us is kind of happening. So that's, and of course the headline on this one is promises made, promises kept, right? If you look at all the things that Donald Trump said he was going to do when he was running for president, and if you look at the things that he's at least tried to do as president, the list is remarkably close. You know, kind of what you see is what you get. You know, he hasn't really, you know, changed his mind or gone against a lot that he said, really anything that he said in the campaign. So I think that's really something that kind of you don't often see from politicians, and is one of the real kind of unique things about Donald Trump and kind of what he's done, and like I said, you know, how he ran his campaign. You know, he's really kind of tried to deliver on those promises in a much more direct way than maybe some other presidents have. So this is just kind of a little bit about what we're going to talk about. Like I said, we already kind of covered promises made, promises kept. We talked a little bit about what kind of brought everyone into the room tonight. And then we'll talk a little bit about kind of how we're trying to kind of help our communities as a campaign and build up kind of teams that'll help kind of accomplish goals both for that community and for the campaign. So we'll talk about that in this slide. So the big thing with campaigns is they take a lot of kind of volunteer effort. And, you know, the campaign, like any kind of community organization, kind of has three kind of facets or phases that it is trying to accomplish, right? So the first one is recruitment, right? So, you know, everyone in this room, you know, probably got a call or had a conversation that kind of got them in this room, right? So that's kind of the first phase is recruiting, right? And using kind of key people to talk to their network and get others in the room, right? And then the next part is kind of training those people, right? Saying, hey, this is what we're trying to do. You know, this is why we think you should be involved. You know, this is what we are trying to do and trying to accomplish, and this is how you can help, right? And the last step for us as kind of the campaign is what's called voter contact, right? So we want to go into communities like Manchester, like Concord, and talk to the voters who you know, help decide who are leaders and what, you know, policies and programs they'll kind of enact. So the best way to do that is you know, knocking on their door and talking to them kind of face to face about what's important to them and you know, what they're worried about kind of going forward and different things like that. And then as well as kind of trying to reach them on the phone and talk to them on the phone. So that's what we're kind of talking about when we say voter contact. But like I said, what applies to this kind of campaign or to our campaign also applies to you know, other organizations that are trying to accomplish their own goals, right? You know, they can be simple things like, you know, trying to put in, you know, I don't know, a stop sign or a speed bump in a neighborhood, right? You can, these little local issues can kind of follow the same method to get things done. And like I said, that thing can be, you know, electing a president, which is what we're trying to do, what the campaign is trying to do, or they can be something as local as I said, you know, putting in a speed bump or putting in a stop sign or something of that sort. Um, so, you know, the way it used to be done is kind of people that wanted to be involved would come to an office like this, and then they would ask them to do different things, right? They would ask them to make those phone calls and knock on other people's doors. But the problem with this is that they really, it was a little bit kind of, you know, churn and burn. They would come in once, they would get an assignment, but they wouldn't really kind of be a part of something. They would kind of be asked to do it alone, and it wasn't an enjoyable kind of experience for them. So the way we're trying to do it is instead of kind of giving people tasks and asking them to help to help us with those tasks, what we're trying to do is create teams that will kind of tackle those tasks together, so that you know, you're not by yourself, you're not doing it alone. You're kind of doing it with a group and really trying to instill kind of that team mentality and kind of do it for others, you know, and get other people involved and helping you accomplish your whatever the goal is, right? So really trying to have that camaraderie and everything that comes along with that, as opposed to just, hey, here's a, you know, a list, can you call everybody on this list, right? We want to try and have it, have everyone be doing something together and, you know, as a group, and make it a more enjoyable experience. So this stuff is not as important to us, but like I said, this is kind of the structure, right? And the big difference here is just kind of the level of commitment, right? If somebody has, you know, 10 hours to work on the campaign, or to work on a local issue or something of the sort, right? Obviously they would, if they have more time than others, then obviously they kind of take on a little bit more of a role, and they're relied on a little bit more heavily. So, you know, in this, what we're trying to do, it's kind of referred to as a neighborhood team leader, right? And then kind of they slot in as far as time and, you know, level of commitment, and kind of ability to bring others into the fold, right? So that's just kind of the hierarchy that we kind of use, and that's you know, how we're trying to organize these teams to accomplish goals. Like I said, for us, it's elections and helping to get folks elected, but it can also be, like I said, those local issues that matter. Maybe they only matter to one neighborhood, but to that one neighborhood, they're very important, right? We're sitting in an office here for somebody running for mayor of Manchester, right? So their team's goal is to accomplish is to elect Victoria Sullivan as mayor of Manchester, right? You know, in Concord, they have somebody else running for mayor, or they have other positions. You know, when Warner is running for state rep, that's his goal and his task, and he has or he will have a team that'll kind of help him do that.
We are there.
That's right.
Meet my team. My left hand, my right hand.
Good job.
That's my team right
Your
there.
2 feet. Don't forget the feet there. Well, that's the idea, anyways. But
Yeah.
Senate is probably a reasonable comparison to mayor, because Senate districts cover 70,000 people, and they do require a staff to manage that expectation. State reps, we're only responsible to about 3,700 people, and generally, we're left to fend for ourselves and shake hands ourselves personally. I kind of like that. One-on-one approach to talking to people. It does make it hard on election day, though, and I have to cover 3 different poll stations.
right. So, but and the point there is that it can be the goal can be different, right? And like I like I said, some of the ways that we do these are one-on-one meetings, right? Getting coffee or lunch with people, talking, again, talking about what kind of matters to different people and what they're worried about, what their concerns are, how different things would help with those situations. Having meetings, kind of like this, and just kind of talking about what's going on and different things like that. And like I said, kind of recruitment. And then we talked about canvassing, right? So going out and talking to people at their front doors and on their porches and things like that. These are all kind of things that go into helping us kind of build these teams, which, like I said, can be used to do different things, right? So this is kind of really what I kind of wanted to talk about. I also have more. I can go on and talk about different things too, but this was really kind of what I wanted to cover with you guys, and definitely wanted to kind of open it up to questions. And can we grab that light switch right behind us? And like I said, just kind of talk a little bit. Like I said, kind of have more of a conversation than me talking to you guys. So does anyone have any questions or anything like that for me? Does that kind of all make sense?
Yeah, first of all, we will say thank you for the presentation. It's not a small thing. It's a small thing by talking, but is the management of the Republican Party.
Right.
So it's like we were getting the idea of managing a campaign through the Republican Party.
Right.
So it's a good job that you did.
Thank you.
And as you give us the opportunity to ask a question, I think this is a wonderful time that anyone can ask any question about Republican Party or even about President Trump, because this is an open door. Maybe one day, who knows, one of us should be working with the Republican Party or even Iran. You guys have a right, as you know it. So
Let me jump in on that.
great, thank you.
Okay? How many people have lived in New Hampshire for 2 years or more? Yep, lived in New Hampshire for 2 years or more.
All of us.
Okay. So everybody with your hand up, you're qualified to run for the State House. I know you're all over 18. That's the other qualification. But you're all qualified right now to run for the State House. Okay? That means your voices can be represented in the State House as soon as the next election cycle, which is in 2020. That's what I'm here for. Okay? Because there is a huge lack of understanding in the legislature about the needs of the new Americans in our state. And the reason it's there is because guys like me haven't done our job in reaching out to your communities. We're intimidated by the fact that we don't speak multiple languages. We're intimidated by the fact that we've had a sheltered life for the most part. Okay? We're intimidated by the fact that we don't understand your experiences. I can't answer for that. But what I can do is I can make it clear to you guys, you belong in this state. You have every right to run for the State House. And if there's anything that I can do to make that happen, I want to. Okay? There is a sizable New American contingent in Concord that's being represented by Representative Safia Wazir. She's a Somali refugee. And if you disagree with some of the things that she's promoting, for example, she's promoting that campaign dollars can be spent on her child care. When I give $10 to my favorite campaign guy, I'm not thinking he's going to spend it on his girlfriend. I think he's going to spend it on getting elected. Okay? But she believes that she can spend it on child care. I don't agree with that. If there are people who do agree with that, great. That's what this country's about, being able to speak your mind. But if you don't agree with that, if you think that new Americans need to be represented by somebody who actually understands and respects your values, you guys can challenge her. She's going to be up for election in 2020. Every single person in the State House, every single person in the State Senate, the governor, and the executive council, we all have to reapply for our jobs every 2 years. There could be 400 brand-new legislators if that's what the voters want. Okay? So that's why it's super important that we reach out to the new Americans in these communities and make them understand, you can run right now. You can go down to your local city hall in June of 2020, and you can file a run to be in the State House. Okay? And the groundwork to do that starts now. It starts by being involved in your city committees. Manchester's got a Republican city committee. Being involved in your county committees. There's a Hillsborough County Committee. There's a Merrimack County Committee. There's a Concord City Committee. And being connected to your neighbors through those committees will help you as a candidate. If you're not interested in running, then please be aware that please be aware that we know there are segments of the population that we're not getting to because of language barriers or the other barriers I was talking about, okay? That's not good enough for me. I'm not gonna let somebody sit on the sidelines because they don't speak their language. I'm not gonna let somebody sit on the sidelines because I can't appreciate their experience. I want them involved. So that's what today is about. It's about getting people involved so that you can represent your neighbors. That's what it's about. I represent 3,700 of my neighbors. Okay? I'm not entitled to my seat. My neighbors select me for that seat. They've selected me 3 times, which I'm grateful for. But if your neighbors have an opportunity to select one of you, don't you think that that's a good idea? Okay? Why let somebody sit on the sidelines when you can have them involved in the game? And that's where I come from. I want you guys involved. I want as many people involved as possible. I'm a big believer in democracy. Questions, comments, concerns?
Yes, I have a question like how to be involved because in the past year I was involved in the Democratic Party.
Okay.
I do everything campaign. To be like a CA, you have to be a reporter, you have to be training, and you have to be volunteer. I was a big volunteer for many years, but I never be training. They just came, they called me my phone, can you do this? I go, and I go door by door, I walk around many times. But like I see, we need training, we need all those things, those steps, so that we can be involved. If it's possible, we can put it training, we can train some people, and we are ready to do it. Volunteer to help.
So what's the question?
My question: how to be involved now? How to be involved? How to be training?
How to be involved is Brian's got the answers to that because his whole job centers around getting people who want to be involved plugged into the system. So he's the expert on that. What I can say is that he's been doing a great job so far, and that the more people that are involved, the more our message is getting out to our neighbors. Okay? I'm not here to convince all of you to vote Republican. Okay? The difference between Republicans and Democrats for me is that the Republicans believe in you. If you want to start your own business, we believe you can. If you want to get a job and hold a job down, we believe you can. If you want to feed your family, we believe you can. Okay? The Democrats believe government's your friend. Okay? If you can't hold down a job, your friend's there to help. If you can't feed your family, your friend is there to help. And I'm not trashing that perspective. Okay? They have a right to their opinion just as I have a right to my opinion. Okay? And if everybody in this room doesn't agree, that's okay too. But the key thing is to get you involved. Get you involved Republican, get you involved Democrat. For me, because I'm not one of these stock guys. I'm not paid to represent somebody. Okay? I want you involved. If you have ideas that are more in line with the Democratic Party, so be it. That's what America's about, is being involved and having your own ideas. If you think that the Republican ideas are the ones you want to fall in behind, that's great too. I want you to be involved. That's the key thing, okay? I won my election the first time I ran by 13 votes. Okay? 13 votes. 7 people decide they don't like how I spell my name. I'm not in the State House. Okay? Your vote matters. The guy running with me who also won by 3 votes. Your vote matters. if anybody shows up to say your vote doesn't matter, or your candidate can't win because they're divorced, or they're got red hair, or they support the wrong football team, okay, or soccer team, don't let them talk you out of voting, okay? Because if enough of you show up and vote for the guy you believe in, your guy will win. Okay? So this is about ensuring that not only you guys, but your neighbors, your friends, your family, your community understands that that is the position that we're asking you to, that you be ambassadors to your communities. Help them understand that being part of this process is what America is about. This is representative government. Okay? New Hampshire happens to be one of the best examples of representative government out there. I'm responsible to 3,700 people. Okay? My cell phone number is on my state website. I shop at Hannaford's. My neighbors can come up and talk to me about anything. So that's what we're hoping for you guys, that you guys feel the same way, that you guys want to be ambassadors. And Ryan is here to help you with the logistics of being an ambassador to your community.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just to say thank you because I guess I could be wrong, but the thing is that when you get citizenship, you can be restricted as Democrat or Republican, but you never know what happened after that. For proof, I told you that I work as a ballot inspector 3 years now, and I check all the time on the list people from my country, from my community, it can be involved in the vote. Maybe for 100, 2, 3 can come to vote. And the thing is that they don't know where to go, how to do that. Because never, I don't know, never for me, I never get a meeting like this where you can explain everywhere what is happening in the
Absolutely.
valley. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a big
That's what this is for.
problem.
This is for
Yeah.
these meetings.
Yeah.
I want to add what he said. It seems like African Americans are left behind. And when it comes to information in the process of election, so people, they don't vote because they don't have enough information. And they don't have enough information because they don't have people that come to tell them what is going on. But the thing that this idea came is to see how people also can fit into the election. Because we may have, like this community may have more than 100 people that can vote. But when we went to see, just 3 people. Where is the other people?
Right.
And you say every vote counts.
And
But those
so
people
I
who
was ready
support-
to get my phone and to call everybody, hey, come to
Those,
vote, come to
those
vote.
people, they are there, but they don't know where to go.
Right.
And then sometimes they feel like, oh, Democrats, they give food stamps. Democrats, they do this. Oh, Democrats, they don't kill people. So it's something that, myself, when I went to do my research, I want to discover that we are left behind. There's something that we are not involved in, and we can do more. That's why this organization, the New American Association Republican, we want to see how we can connect with the other people, so to share information.
Yeah,
And if there is a problem, we know where to go.
absolutely.
If someone asks a question, if someone wants to vote, as you said, we need people to represent our community. Where to go, as he said, that's right. Where to go, who to ask. Now, this is the start point that we can be together, we can work together to see how we can join the team. Then we'll have more information. They will train us, and if you have like an agenda, we will come and say, oh, what about this? We have somewhere where we can go to ask, and if they need us, because we have people, so we have a community. So the field, we are in the field, and sometimes really, then we will not go in the field. You will not go to the field, but if you have it, you know that I have people on the field, and I can tell them, and we can do more job. That's why we are here, and it's good because all the people here are leaders. We didn't select people because we had to select people. We just saw that we can select leaders. So when the message will be here, we will go back to the community, and people will hear the voice, what happened here. And this will not be the last step. I believe next time we want also to organize another stuff, another meeting that will help us with more information. Thank you.
you said like you were explaining how the Democratic was like government and the Republican was like the people. So like the Republic, do you really think like the Republic views like the same morals are the same as Donald Trump? Because his views, he has views, and talking in the aspect of like the union, like the country, not all of them are right. There are some that are right, and he is good. He's a business person. It's understandable, and I feel like there are times where like it is time for the people's talk. Like when you say like the Republicans, like they chose someone for like his moral views, but his moral views don't really align with their moral views. Not all of them, especially when what irks me is the part where he is like about science, the environment. His moral understanding about that, he doesn't believe in global warming or anything about that. When in history it started from science, like and everything.
So the short answer to your question is, I believe that there is not a perfect candidate.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not somebody you're gonna 100% agree with. In fact, there's not somebody everybody 100% agrees
Yeah.
with. Okay, so every ballot box decision is a weight between what this person believes and what that person believes. Okay, I don't sign on to everything he says. Okay, I will tell you straight up, I was a one-issue voter during the presidential primary. Okay, my only issue was military readiness.
Yeah.
Okay, so he could have done anything else. He could have stood on Fifth Avenue and shot somebody. Okay, and it wouldn't have changed my vote
Okay.
because the person he was running against wasn't in favor of military readiness.
Yeah. Like
Okay,
that's
so that's a very narrow
yeah.
rationale for voting for somebody. But I'm not going to say anybody's rationale is right or wrong. Okay, it's on you to make your own choices and your opinions. If he does something that ticks you off, vote for the other guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing. What you
No.
said with like the other person he was with, going against it, like he came at the right time when like
Yes.
we needed like money, military, like that was the right time. But then now it's, I hope he can do like more to like climate, like he could understand, because once you disregard something else, it's gonna come back and hit us really bad. Like the government, really great and everything. It's just now you have to think about the world itself, like the debt and everything. How are you gonna put it all together and put more resource in helping how to like distribute everything?
It's like I mentioned, it's one of those value-based decisions. You know, he's not going to be your guy for everything.
Yeah.
But is he your guy more than the other person?
Yeah,
Then you
that's
cast your vote.
true.